So I've been working on this experiment, and it all hinges on my ability to measure this one hormone. I've been trying for a long time to measure this hormone. Today, there's a small chance that I figured out how to measure this particular hormone. Do you see that band right there? I've been trying to get that band for 7 months. Yes, 7 months of my life buried in trying to get that orange line. So maybe that orange line is the DNA sequence that I need to measure my particular hormone. Or maybe it's just some random sequence that doesn't mean anything. Today I'm going to isolate that DNA. I'm going to send it to a friend. He's going to sequence it, and he's going to send me back the sequence. And at that point I will know whether I will be able to measure this hormone or whether I won't be able to measure this hormone. Last fall, Lauren and I set up this experiment. And for this experiment, we were wondering whether the presence of predators influence how snails behaved. So we set up this massive experiment. We had 80 snails. We measured all these different behaviors. It took about 28 days to run this whole experiment. Hang on, I gotta focus for a second. In that band is the key to my ability to actually measure what the experiment initially set out to measure, whether or not hormones were influencing behavior. At this point, no one else in the world knows the DNA sequence for this hormone for the species of snails I'm working on. But in order to measure this hormone, I have to discover what that sequence is. Alright, and we're walking to my buddy's lab to drop off these DNA samples. Man, I feel good, but part of me just it's hard to feel too excited because I've been here before. I've got a sweet band, and I thought things were really going to be moving along, and then start to analyze the sequence, and it's just some random sequence. So I don't know, I'm kind of hedging against being too hopeful because then it just leads to kind of discouragement. But it's the next step, so I'm just doing the next step, and we'll see what happens. Alright, I just dropped off those samples at my friend's lab. He's going to analyze them, and we'll find out if those bands actually turn out to be the DNA sequences that I need. But check back in a couple days. I'll let you know what happens with